Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, What's New in Autodesk BIM 360. We're just going to give it a couple more minutes to see if any other attendees are going to join, and then we will dive in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, What's New in Autodesk BIM 360. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your GoToWebinar control panel, not in the chat panel, though we will moderate that area as well. Also, a recorded version of this webinar will be available on our website and YouTube channel within a couple days, and you'll receive an email with the link when it's available. Before we jump into the webinar, I want to introduce Microdesk to you all. Microdesk was founded in 1994 as an Autodesk reseller with a simple mission: to assist architecture, engineering, construction, owners, and GIS firms with improving workflows and integrating project delivery technologies. 25 years later, and that mission still holds true. Microdesk is a well-established AECO consulting firm with 13 offices in the US and UK. We have over 230 AECO consultants, solution specialists, and software developers that can help in all sectors, all disciplines, and all stages. Some of the hottest topics in the AECO world are globalization, urbanization, and sustainability. Urbanization studies suggest that the US will build 114 cities the size of Boston in the next 30 years. Here at Microdesk, we can help to make sure you are prepared to meet these demands. We use software from industry leaders and combine it with our vision and passion to sustainably meet the demands of urbanization. Our team of industry expert consultants are redefining project delivery and asset management. We're committed to helping clients realize the business benefits of BIM quickly and economically by facilitating the use of innovative technologies and processes. Whether it's streamlining your design, construction, or operations, our consulting team is the nation's largest and most experienced group of AECO technology consulting professionals. Microdesk clients represent some of the nation's largest and most respected organizations and public agencies, including the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Denver Airport, Robert A.M. Stern, and Columbia University, among many others. To help support the industry with these demands of urbanization, we provide full service consulting. This includes building information modeling services, enterprise strategy and workflow assessments, technology management, mentoring and support, application development, and much, much more. We partner with world leaders such as Autodesk and IBM to utilize innovative technologies and methodologies to empower sustainable design and overcome local challenges. Our vision is to reduce the environmental impact of urbanization by helping the AECO industry to design, construct, and operate better projects more efficiently by leveraging the full potential of BIM, VDC, and asset manager. Now, Microdesk Project Manager Mallory White will jump on to take you through today's webinar. Thanks, everyone.
Sorry about that. Hi, I'm Mallory White. I'm a project manager at Microdesk, and I've been with the company for a little over 6 years. Basically, I help architects and engineers and those in construction implement new technology. By evaluating their needs, goals, and current workflows, we can determine the software ecosystem they need to achieve those goals. A little bit about me. I'm from Mississippi, thus I went to Mississippi State University. I moved to New York and worked for Hugh Hardy at H3 Hardy Collaboration and on some really brilliant theater and historical preservation projects, like Theater for New Audience in Brooklyn, and probably the most indelible on my career was probably Pier A. It's a historic preservation project at the tip of Manhattan. You probably don't really know that it exists. It's a little tiny pier. This was my very first BIM for historic preservation project. And if you know anything about BIM, it does not like historic preservation because it's as built and it's funky and unplumbed walls and things like that. I learned a lot and figured out that I love the technology side of architecture. That's why I'm at Microdesk and love working at Microdesk. Which led me to the next venture, Scan to BIM. I moved to LA and started working for GB Geotechnics, where I honed my skills in Scan to BIM, measure building survey, and point cloud data analysis with a little bit of non-destructive evaluation on the side. So I really enjoy understanding the built environment and documenting that process. Let's see, primarily I worked on historic preservation projects. The most notable for GB Geotechnics was Hearst Castle off the coast of California. At Microdesk, I work to help others refine their technology tool belt so that technology doesn't hold them back from good design. All right, today, let's see. Over the years, I found it much easier to leverage technology to work in my favor, and where I can automate those tasks, I often do. Today, I'm going to show you several of those workflows. How to manage the health of your Revit models using Power BI dashboards, and then how to leverage those Power BI dashboards in BIM 360. And also I'm going to teach you how to track the activity in your Autodesk Hub and manage your projects with Power BI dashboards using the BIM 360 data connector, which is a really cool little tool. All right, full disclosure, you will need a Revit license, a Power BI Pro license. Power BI desktop version needs to be downloaded on your desktop. The Revit add-in Autodesk Model Health Checker, that's free in the App Store, by the way. It's a really awesome little tool. And a BIM 360 Docs license to complete this workflow. So let's get into it. I'm going to flip over here to Revit. I'm going to use Revit 2020. I'm opening a basic project. All right, it's opening. I'm going to give you the full effect. So I'm just opening a regular basic project. This is the sample project from Autodesk. Up here, you would have already had installed the Autodesk Model Health Checker tools, the interoperability tools. And then this is what the tab looks like. You have lots of different features in here. I'm going to be using this orange feature, Model Health Checker, today. To set it up, I have a special XML file that I'm going to use. It's not special, it's common knowledge, and I can provide that to you in the link after this webinar. So I'm going to click on Setup. And then in here, you will choose which particular XML file you want to set up. So I would go to Open, and this is where you're going to choose it. There's lots of other defaults in here. I like to use the Revit best practices to run any model, just generally any model, just to see the health of the model and the standards and best practices. You can make your own in here, which is really cool. You can have it check whatever you want it to check. But today I have a specific one that I like to use that I found. I'm going to navigate to that, and it's the Revit Model Dashboard XML document. This can be provided to you. This is not proprietary to anybody. So once I've decided which one of these I want to use, which I've now navigated to, found, I click OK, and then I'm just going to save and close. So I'm still in the same model. I'm going to click Run. And then I'm going to notice that it's saving where the location is saving right here. I'm just saving on my desktop for today. And then what you do is you run a quick report. Now this is a small project. This is not anything robust like any of the commercial projects that you probably are already dealing with, but I like to make sure that I'm using the right stuff in here. But this is okay. This is only a quick run, just because it's a small project. All right, once you get the project runs the XML file, the checker. This is all the things that it's checking: warnings, file size, purgeable elements. All of these things down here are what the checker is checking. And then once you're happy with it and it's done, you can click Excel. So I want to export to Excel. I need to choose a location to export it to. I like to make sure that I'm choosing, because you're going to point this to a particular folder, the Power BI template. So you want to make sure that you're choosing a folder to put it into. So I like to shorten the name, or you could even put like the name of the project or whatever it is. You could, I'm just calling it 2020 for today. Put it in a specific folder though. You don't want to just put it into the main folder of your project. Yes, I want to replace it. Awesome. And then click OK, close, and you're done with the Revit portion of this. Let's see, close. There we go. So then we're going to open up. I'm not going to go straight to Power BI. I'm going to go and open a particular model dashboard. So it'll ask me to map the export file when I open it. You can always go straight into Power BI if you want to and then open from there, but I like to open straight from here so I know I'm in the right Power BI. Just a minute, you're getting the full effect of opening up programs. So what you'll get is a little box that'll pop up right here in the middle. And it'll say first report source, and this is what you need. This is what we're going to enter information into right here. I'm going to go back to the Model Health Checker. I'm going to click on my exports, grab, copy, paste that path, go back here, paste that path, and then click load. Now, sometimes this is really finicky. You just kind of have to do it a couple of times. Hopefully this one just goes through smooth today. Power BI can be a little finicky sometimes. This particular template will give you several different ways to look at the information. So this is like bar graphs that you can look at, and you can each one of these sheets you can come in and rename the project so you know which project that you're actually running the Model Health Checker on. There's another variation where you can compare file size and warnings to see which one is important. My favorite is this one, the last report, because it looks more like a dashboard. It's easily conveying the information. It'll flag things that are not good. It'll turn things red when it's bad. It's a little bit easier to maneuver, or interpret. So I like to hide this one, and I'll hide this one because I'm preparing this to go onto BIM 360 as a partner card. And I'll explain a little bit about that in a little bit. So once you have it here, and I'm going to go ahead and rename this up here so that it's, I'm going to just name it Revit 2020. So we know what we're looking for in Power BI when I publish. And if you know anything about Power BI, you will need a Power BI Pro license, just to make that clear, to be able to share the actual dashboard with the web and be able to upload it and link it to BIM 360. So this is really awesome. It shows you the day that the model health check was done. It shows you how many warnings you have, which normally they're kind of over here, to tell you the truth. And then it shows you the size of the file. So this is the alarming area. Really important. In-place families is a big one to check. Making sure that your imports are not out of control. Making sure that you have a good number of total views in your project. Duplicates, that's a really big one that can weigh down a model. Raster images can weigh down a model, and detail groups and model groups. Those are really big ones to look for. So once you have checked this and you're okay with it, you can click Publish up here. And then click Save, because you have to save it on your desktop. So I'll save this one as Revit 2020 dashboard. Click Save. And then I'm going to publish it to my workspace. While we're waiting on that to publish, I would like to put a poll out. I think, where did I put the poll? I think I just closed it out. Guess we won't do a poll today. Oh, here's the poll, sorry. Okay. I would like to know who is currently using Power BI. Cool, a lot of people are using it. That's great. It's one of my favorite tools. If you haven't used it, you should probably use it. It's really awesome. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Put this back over there. All right, got it. So we've published to Power BI. And then we'll switch to the web version. So I've just gone into my Outlook, or you can go onto your Microsoft website, log in, and you should see a Power BI app in your apps department where you can see all your apps. Okay, in here you'll see my workspace, and then I have lots of other projects in here. We're going to look at the Revit 2020 dashboard that we just created. There's lots of features in here that you can leverage. You can see who's been seeing it inside of Power BI. If you share it, you can see all kinds of stuff in here. It's really an awesome platform, and I love using Power BI. So in here, it'll look just like the dashboard that we created over here. Just give it a minute. Alrighty, and we're up and running. We've got the I always like to make sure, since we hid the other tabs inside of the desktop, you won't see what we didn't publish here. So those were hidden. If you like those other tables and visuals, you can totally use those as well, but I like to keep it pretty simple. So that way I know what I'm looking at every day and I have to sift through a bunch of other information. You can also add other visuals to this. If you don't like the way this looks, you can change the colors, you can do all that kind of stuff inside of Power BI. All right, I also like to make sure that I've renamed it, just reiterating that, and make sure that you have the right date that you've put up there. So that way when you go to Power BI, when you go to BIM 360, it will show you exactly what's there. Right. So then this is the pro part of the Power BI that you're going to need to be able to publish to web. Once you publish to web, you will get this little notification that says this was a public website. If you are working for someone with an NDA, this is probably not an ideal workflow, and there are other workflows to be able to get you a code or embed it into BIM 360. This is just this one workflow. So I'm going to publish, and then I'm going to grab, this is what the whole box looks like. I'm going to grab this link up here, copy, and then I'm going to log into BIM 360. All right, I'm going to go into the account, the docs account, sorry, the admin account. We're going to go into that a little bit later. And here you will go to, now, okay, just a few caveats. This is your BIM 360 document. Depending on which project you're going to upload to, make sure you navigate to the right project. Project Home, you can use the partner cards on Project Home. And it just depends on where you want to track this information. I particularly like to put it on Insights because it's an insight into your model. It just depends on how you want to do it. You can put partner cards pretty much anywhere. A partner card are these little boxes that you see that are configured with settings that are reading project issues or field issues. We're going to make one for our dashboard. So I'm going to go to the Insight tab because I like to put it over here. One other thing to think about, just tips and tricks, the partner card will only work on your specific desktop. It's individual based. So if you have a team of BIM managers that want to work together and see the same information, you will need to provide them with the link that I just showed you over here. And that can be put into like a little notepad that you keep on your SharePoint or something that they can add this dashboard as needed. But once it's added to everybody's Insight as a partner card, it's done. You don't really have to do anything else except go run the health checker again. So I'm going to add a partner card over here. In case you didn't see it, it says customize. I'm going to go to the card library right there. And then I'm going to type in Power BI. It's right here. Check it and then click add card. All right, you'll notice that you don't see anything because it's way down here. Now, if I want to, I can move these partner cards around and put it towards the top, or you can put it wherever you want. But don't click save yet because we're going to configure it. You can click configure here, or you can click configure here. Hide card makes it delete the card, and you can see right here when it was last updated as well. Power BI. Now this is a little funky, so sometimes when you put the code in here, you have to click save. And I like to make sure that see, it kind of kicks it down here sometimes. I like to make sure that I replace the word Power BI with the actual name of the project as well, so that way I can make sure that I'm reading the right thing and the right partner card is on the right project. So I'm going to name this one Revit 2020. Save. And then I'm actually going to move it back up here because it kicked it back down there. And then click save. Right over here is the save button. And then now you have your own Model Health Checker dashboard based on Power BI. We are working, Microdesk is working on developing a much smoother workflow for this. It's in our roadmap for some of our apps coming up with our BIM RX apps. So soon I might end up doing another one of these webinars and you will see the much smoother workflow where you don't even hopefully have to open the Revit model to run the Model Health Checker. That would be awesome. I'm going to show you one other workflow, and this one is for the Model Health Data Connector. Sorry. Okay, so you're going to pull information from your actual hub, so you can manage how many people are in your using your BIM 360 licenses and all of that kind of information, you can also manage pretty much all of these partner cards as a Power BI if you prefer, or you can map it back to here. You can it just depends on how you want to be able to manage your information. So I'm going to go to Account Admin. This is a really cool feature. I really like this a lot. And then I'm going to go to Insights. So you can see this is a kind of difficult place to get to in BIM 360. So if you're not an account admin, you're not going to be able to get here. But this is for anybody managing your hub and wanting to know more about what the usage is or how a project is being leveraged, how you can kind of find some more insights into leveraging all of the BIM 360 modules that you are currently paying for. So the Insight tab, hence is providing more insight. Let's see, data is what we're going to look for. I'll let this finish, but this is what the risk looks like. Risk tab lets you know all your project risks. Is it medium? Is it low? Cool things that we've set up in here to look at. The data tab, that's what we're going to look at today for data connector. The available extractions, what you're going to do is click run over here. For some reason, it's not letting me do that. Good thing I did this the other day. And okay, so normally you would click run right here, and it takes about 30 minutes to, I mean, like we have a lot of projects on our hub, so it took a half a day for mine to do. But once you do it, you don't need to do this on a daily basis. You could set it up to do daily if you have smaller hub or, you know, anything like that. So what you do is you click run, you have one little available extraction, and they're available for 30 days or more. I did run it last Friday, so I'm not sure why it's not here, but you'll have an upload button right here. And then you will, we'll go to the data connector folder. So right now we're going to run the admin dashboard. So this is a template that I can provide you guys with. You can Google this. It's very easy to find. You'll just open up this in Power BI, and it's a very similar workflow to what we did before. We'll copy this particular file and then file path, and then we'll put it into the template. So I'll go ahead and open that up. See all of the Excel documents in here that are reading from our particular hub. So I'm going to copy that. And then here's where the source file goes in. Copy paste, Control C, Control V, and then click load. Now these are very small Power BI templates. You can pretty much leverage any of the information in any of the Excel documents. It's pretty robust. It's really interesting information. It's taking a second. And this is really important over here. I like to look at this a lot. Users who haven't signed in the last 90 days. So these are people that you can probably, you know, archive their rights and give them to someone else that needs the rights. And it also shows you what tools, what modules they have not been leveraging. So if they haven't signed into Field in, you know, 90 days, maybe we should probably take their rights away. So let's see, George Wright, he was in Field and it was only a total of one time that he ever signed in. So we could probably, you know, archive his rights. The other cool one is down here where you can see who has been in what tool. It lets you know that like everybody is in document management, but maybe, you know, Alan Alexander, maybe he didn't use Glue or he didn't use cost management. So maybe he doesn't need to have those licenses for those modules. This is a really awesome tool, and you can also leverage any of this other information over here and bring it in and show the filters for BIM 360. So you could easily come over here and say, okay, I want to look at the projects. I want to filter this by project name. So I can come over here, grab this, and then it'll filter by project name. And then I can choose which one. Let's do civil demo. and then it'll say, okay, we didn't do a civil demo. Awesome. Here's BIM 360 field, Randy Boynes. He used it on Cinnabro test. So we have a lot of test things in at Microdesk as well. But this is a really cool tool, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the other two templates. So the project management one is definitely project driven. So you can see the much more information on the actual project side of managing the tools inside of BIM 360 and Power BI. Let's see. I'd like to know if anybody else is using the Autodesk Health Checker. I'm going to give you a poll just because I want to know who all is using it. Cool. A lot of people are using it. 84%, 86, 87%. Awesome. Are you building? I would like to know more, but I need to make another poll for that. But if you're building specific ones, that one's really cool. Let's see. Let's grab the data from here and put it right here. Load. And this is the project management one. And in here you can manage your RFIs, submittals. You can leverage this data that you've collected over here in the background of BIM 360 to be able to, know how many collaborators are using this the most. Are we, and you can filter this down by project again, like I did before. You kind of have to look at some of these. You could rename all of these if you really wanted to, so that you can understand a little bit better. Oh, let me turn the filter on. Pull the filter out. And then we'll filter by project. Oh, they don't have any. Awesome. Let's do, and then you can also search in here, which is really cool. So you don't have to fumble through. Until I found the one I was working on as I fumble through. Okay, you can filter out by project once you figure out which project you're working on. And then let's see. I wanted to know also, what is everybody using the data connector? Let's see. I'll send out one more poll. Are you using the data connector? Are you? Oh, cool. No one's using that. This is a really awesome tool. I'm glad I'm actually providing you with something you might not already know. And we'll send a link out with the templates for these BIM 360 dashboards and the Power BI XMLs and all of that information. We'll send that out in a link to follow up. Again, this is just really a BIM 360 insight and how to make a Power BI dashboard. The manual way. I think there's other ways to do it. You can also bring in OData information, and we'll follow up with that a little bit later on. But that's all I really have for today. Does anybody have any questions? Let's see, let's look in the question box. Nobody has any questions. All righty. No questions. If you need any contact, you can always email us, ask us questions. We are very helpful, transparent company. We like to make sure we have dialogues with our clients. Please feel free to call us. We have a support line and we also have a tech support line. Sales support is awesome. You can email us at techsupport@microdesk.com as well. And that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you.